Hi, my name is Matt from Steamforged Games. I'm going to be showing you a brief walkthrough of the Dark Souls, the board game. So starting off, by the time you've gotten to this boss battle, you've gone through about 5 or 6 tiles of dungeon crawl. It's a 1 to 4 player, fully cooperative dungeon crawl type board game. So you're at a boss battle right now, it's going to be showing you. You've gone through a couple tiles full of monsters, you fought a mini boss, and now you're here ready to fight the big boss. So the first thing that happens in the boss fight is the boss goes, and he has a behavior deck that he uses to dictate all of his attacks, all of his moves. Because it's a fully cooperative game, I'm playing the boss and the characters right now, but everybody's doing the whole thing. You know, everything's dictated by the cards and by the rules. So the first thing that happens is called the Ash Cloud. So this shows us at a range of infinite. It's going to do 5 damage, and that green means what arc he's attacking in. Each boss has 4 arcs. They have a front, back, left, and right. And that will dictate where they're attacking to and where they're going to be weak to as well. As you can see here, you got the green where he's attacking, and the red is in the back arc, which means he's going to take extra damage from players when they're attacking his back arc. So, because it's in his front arc, that means all of these models are getting hit. If it was back here, pretty much everybody in the room, and if he was up here, pretty much everybody's getting missed, which would be perfect. So he's doing the Ash Cloud. We're going to start with the Herald. There's 2 different ways to deal with damage. You can try to block it with your armor and mitigate some, or you can try to dodge out of the way. So with the Herald, he's better at doing the kind of tankiness. He's got the heavy shield, he's got the armor, and he's going to try to block it. So he's got these stats right here is your magic block. You got 1 blue dice, 1 black dice, and 0 from your weapon. So you get 1 blue and 1 black, and you roll that to see how many points of that damage you get rid of. So we're going to roll, and so that's 3 skulls. That means 3 of that 5 damage is going away, and you're only taking 2. So we have these 2 red health blocks here, and that's going to start there on that track. And so the warrior is a bit different. He's not as heavily armored as the Herald, but he's a little bit better at dodging. So we have these stats on this card over here. You have 0, you have 2, and you have 0. So that means you get a total of 2 dice whenever you choose to dodge. When you do dodge, you put 1 black stamina token on there, and you get to move 1 square. So we're going to have him move right into there, try to go for the boss a bit. He's going to roll these, and as long as you get as many successes as is on the card, you successfully dodge the attack, you don't take any of that damage. However, if you had gotten 2 blank spaces, you'd take that full 5 points. So the next thing that happens, we're going to start with the Herald. He gets what's called the aggro token, and what this is it's pretty much kind of a tiebreaker. If both people are just as close and the boss needs to attack whoever's closest, it's going to go to the guy with the aggro token. And that follows every character around whenever they start their turn. When the warrior starts, it's going to go to him, but right now it's on the Herald. So the Herald, or players get 1 free move whenever their turn starts. After that, every additional space they want to move costs 1 stamina point. So he's going to move here for free, and his weapon is the spear. So unlike other weapons which might have a range of 0, which means you need to be on the same spot as the boss, the Herald has a range of 1. So he, from right here, can start attacking and poking away at the boss. Whenever you choose to attack, you have a couple options. Just like Dark Souls the game, you have your weak attacks and you have your strong attacks. And that's dictated down here by how much stamina you have to spend. With the spear, you have 2 options. You have 0 cost, so you spend 0 stamina and you get 1 black dice for the attack, or you can spend 3 stamina and you get 2 black dice for the attack. So what we're going to start off strong. We're going to go full attack. 1, 2, 3 stamina, and we're going to roll both these dice. However many skulls that you roll, that's going to be how much damage you do to the boss. So it's going to be 1 point, 2 points. He's jogging up, he's getting him right in the gut with the spear. After the player is gone, he goes back to the boss. The order of activation is boss, player, boss, player, boss, player. So, if the boss goes, he flips over the next card. And this is kind of where the Dark Souls aspect really comes to shine. As you're playing this boss, you're learning his moveset, you're learning how he behaves. The deck is shuffled randomly, but it stays in the same order. So as you're going, when these cards run out, you flip it right back over to the very beginning. So that way you can kind of learn where you need to go, when you need to make the push, when you need to kind of fall back. So he's going to do what's called his Flashing Blade. It's got a range of 1. Anybody on his same square is going to be pushed away, and then he's going to go forward 2 spaces. So he's going forward 1, and he's going to bump up against this invisible wall. He's hitting his head. In a regular boss battle, because it's a demo, normally we have 2 tiles here, so he's got a bit more length to run, but he's going to stay right there. However, he's not done. He's going to attack for 5 damage, and all of the arcs in that card are covered in green. So that means he's attacking every single direction around him. So, both these people are going to be hit. We'll start with the Herald just for fun. So you have the option of either trying to dodge this or block it just like before. But because the Herald's better at doing that and absorbing the damage with his armor, we're going to have him do that. So you get 1 blue and 1 black for his physical armor stat. We roll both of those, and every skull you roll mitigates 1 of that point of damage. So he's taking 2 out of that 5, which means he still takes 3 points. Now, normally in a game, we have what's called the Estus Flask, which is what allows you to wipe your bar and kind of start fresh. You get one of those every time you respawn at the bonfire. But for the purpose of the demo, we've assumed that you've used it on the way up here already. So that's the Herald's damage. He's almost dead. Once those two meet in the middle at any point, that's when you die. When one character dies, everybody has to respawn back at the bonfire. You fight your way back through, you level up a little bit more, you get some better gear, and you're ready to go. So that kind of makes it so that you can't have just one character that's super strong, super powerful. You still need to take everybody into account. Somebody might need to survive for 3 turns before he gets to act. So that was the damage of the Herald. We're going to go now to the Warrior. He is the one that's a little bit better at dodging. He has the option of blocking with his armor to try to mitigate as much as possible, but he's a little bit better than that. He's going to spend 1 stamina, and he's going to do the dodge. So he gets to move into his square. Since there's no weak spots, it doesn't really matter where we go. And then he's going to roll his 2 dodge dice, and we're looking for 1 success, which we did get, so he doesn't take any of that damage. If he had gotten both flat spaces, that means he would take that full 5. So that's the boss's go. We now go over to the Warrior. He's going to get the aggro token, and you get to remove 2 points of stamina every single turn. So he's fresh, he's good to go. The Warrior is going to attack the boss all out. He's got a couple different options here for attack. Unlike the Herald, his shield is a kind of combat shield, it's a spiked shield. So he's got both his axe and his shield, and he can make attacks with either of those. So with the axe, we're going to go full out. We're going to spend 3 stamina to make an attack for that. You get 1 black and 1 blue dice. And that's going to be 4 points of damage. So he's coming up to the side, he's hitting with his axe, but now he's going to bump him with his shield. He's going to spend an additional 2 stamina, and he's going to get those 2 more black dice for a shield attack. So that's 2 more points of damage. Perfect. We're going back now to the boss. He flips over that next card, and we go through it. It's 1 range. Everybody on his tile is getting pushed out. So when you're pushed, you have to stay in the same kind of quadrant. So you can get pushed either to here or to here. But we're going to push him right over to here. So that aggro token follows him. And now the boss is going to move. That circle next to the movement means he's going to follow the closest person. Since they're both equal distance apart, they're going to go after whoever has the aggro token. So he's going to turn, and he's going to go 1 space. He's going to push him out. And we're going to push him right back to there. And then he's going to go forward for that 2nd space, and he's going to push him out again. Let's say to back there. And now he makes his attack. So the attack has a circle mark next to it, so that means he's going to attack the closest person again, which is the Warrior, and it's going to be for 5 damage. So with this, you need 2 successes in order to dodge. Each dice has a 50-50 chance of having a successful dodge, so the odds of getting both of those aren't that great. And if you do miss, you're going to take that full 5 damage, which right now, given how much stamina you have, would end up killing you and wiping the whole party. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to use his armor, which isn't as good as the Herald's, but it can still do its job of mitigating some of that damage. So you get 2 black dice, and we're going to roll both of these, and each skull is 1 less point of damage he takes. So not the best, but still alive. He takes 4 points of damage, and he is now red hot danger zone. If he needed to dodge again, if he spent that 1 stamina point, he would actually die. You guys both at the restart of the bonfire, fight your way back through it. But that was all the boss is going to do. So now we go back. The Herald is going to get the aggro token. He gets to take away 2 of those points of stamina, and then he gets to go. So he's got his free move. The boss right now, based on his card and direction, is weak in his right arc. So he's going to go 1 space over to here, and then he's going to spend 1 additional stamina to move into his weak spot. We're going to switch weapons to the Morning Star, which is a little bit more powerful. The spear has the range, but it only has the black dice. The Morning Star requires you to get right up on the same tile as the boss, but he has a bit better attack dice. Also, he has that 1 for magic defense. So with that initial attack, that Ash Cloud, if he had his Morning Star equipped, he'd have a little bit better chance of blocking more of that damage. So now he's in his weak spot, he's in his right angle, he's in his Morning Star, he's ready to go, he's ready to do some damage. His first attack is going to be for free, so we get that 1 blue dice by default, and because he's in the weak spot, you get 1 additional black dice for free. And this is for every attack you make. So he's rolling both of those for a total of 3 damage. Almost halfway. And so, because unlike the Warrior, his shield isn't really good at bashing and fighting, we're going to move on to the next step, which is the boss fight, or the boss's go. We flip over that next card, and it's the backhanded blade swipe. So walking through this again, it's got a range of 1. That shield means that whoever's on the same base as him is going to get pushed out. And so as long as you're in the same kind of quadrant, it will work. So we're going to get pushed right back along there. That means he's going to turn to the left, and he's going to go forward one space. So he's going to push this guy out of the way as well. He's going to get pushed along the wall, and then he's going to try to make his attack. So the green is where he's attacking, which means it's going to be his front and his right arc. So his front and his right arc is actually against the wall. There's nobody there, which is perfect, because both of you guys are pretty close to, well, we're both being pretty close to dead. He's weak now in his right arc, or his left arc, which is going to be perfect for the warrior. So that was the boss's go. We're now going to switch over to the warrior. He gets the aggro token. He gets to get rid of some of his 2 stamina. He's running pretty hot right now. And he gets to make his free move. So he's going to move into that weak spot for the boss, and he's going to be a little bit more conservative this turn. He's going to go for his free attack instead. So his free attack gives him 1 blue dice by default, but since he's in the weak zone, he's going to get 1 additional black dice. Roll both of those for a total of 3 damage. We're going to mark that on the boss. He's coming to his side. He's chucking with the axe. And then the warrior has that chance to go for an extra attack with his shield, which we're going to risk it. We're going to spend 2 stamina and get him in that hot zone again. And we're going to get 2 black dice by default for the shield, and then 1 additional one because you're in his weak spot. So the warrior, in that turn that he's in his weak spot, you get those 2 additional dice for free. You can really add up that damage. And that's one of those times where you need to go forward instead of trying to fall back. He's going to roll those, and he gets 4 points of damage, which is actually perfect. So now that the boss has been knocked down to less than half health, he does something called heat up. And his heat up point is where he goes berserk. In the video game, once you get the health down low enough, they start becoming a little bit more unpredictable. They start hitting a little bit harder. So we have an additional card here that we're going to put into the deck. Now normally, once this deck had gone all the way through, we would simply flip it back over and start again. But when heat up happens, we include this card in the deck, and then we shuffle everything. So if you thought that you knew what was going to come next, you don't. And I don't even know what's going to come next. So we shuffled the deck, we put that special card in there, and we're going to see what happens next. That was the warrior's turn, and they're both running pretty hot right now. The warrior only has 1 spot left until he's dead, and the herald only has a couple left. So whatever happens right here could change the entire game. And this is Blade Dance. That's actually the powerful card we just put right in there. So walking through, it's going to do 1 range. Anybody on his tile is getting pushed off, so we're going to put the warrior right over there. And then he's going to turn around and go forward 2 spaces. So he goes 1, 2, you get pushed along the wall, and then he makes one of his attacks. He's going to attack in his left, front, and his right arc. So the herald is actually in range of that. So the herald has 5 damage he needs to block, and he only has 3 squares left. So you get your blue and your black dice, and this is one of those rolls that the game hinges on. So if he can't block enough of his damage, he's going to end up dying. So he blocks 2. He's going to end up taking 3, which is actually just enough to kill him. So because 1 character died, everybody has to die. They respawn back at the bonfire. They spend 1 of their sparks, which is kind of their respawn counter, and then they fight their way back through. As they go, they get more souls. They're able to level up their character a little bit better, get some better gear, and then come back prepared to face the boss again, knowing what you know now about how the things work. So this is a quick review or a quick demo of Dark Souls, the board game. It's going to be coming out April 21st for a retail price of $120. It will come with 27 full-size miniatures inside, and the 4 starting characters we have are the Warrior, the Herald, the Knight, and the Assassin.